Hello, everyone. Welcome to the first official coverage of the Ghost Ship Dispatch. Official only in the sense that this is an official Barrel Vision video, whereas beforehand, it might not have been if I didn't get express permission from Aaron Hathaway, head of marketing at Ghost Ship himself. And why did that have to happen? And what is the Ghost Ship Dispatch? Well, I'll save one of those things for later. The Ghost Ship Dispatch is a monthly newsletter put out by Ghost Ship Games. It used to exist. It's actually a very old newsletter, but I'd say something I wasn't aware of at the time that it was actually happening. So I would say it was dropped probably in about late 2018, maybe early 2019. I'm actually not too sure when the last issue was before October. And what that means is that I have actually missed one of the issues. We did talk about what was in it, especially there was a small piece of roll call concept art and a bit of discussion about sort of the work that had been going on as far as roll call was concerned around that time. But that actually predated the On the Horizon stream that just happened. And so it didn't feel like it made much sense to retread and go back over that after I'd received permission. Now, why did I need to receive permission? I don't really know, but to me, there is something inherently more private about a newsletter. It's not paid. It's something you can freely sign up for, and you'll find a link for that in the description below. But there was something about it where I felt like I don't feel like I inherently have the right to use this outright in videos. So I did end up actually asking for permission to Aaron himself. I mean, I sent the email to Ghost Ship, but it was Aaron who got back to me, thankfully. The man who wrote the newsletter we're going to be going through today. And that was very appreciated. But he did actually give me two conditions that I had to abide by if I were to make these videos. And the first one is simply to have a link included, which was always going to be the case. I was never not going to link to the sign up page for the Ghost Ship Dispatch. The other thing is to display the email that he sent in return, and for me to read it out in his voice. Now you're going to have to wait till the end to do that. God, I don't know what's up with my stuttering. I'm pretty sure I don't have a speech impediment, but sometimes I wonder. I do wonder. Anyway, without further ado, because I'm going to save that till the end, so you have to wait for that, especially if Aaron's watching. I mean, you could just skip to the end if you want to hear my terrible impression, but for now, let's get into the November issue of the Ghost Ship Dispatch. There it is. So, Ghost Ship Dispatch, November 2024. Dispatch number 3, Much Ado About Road Core. I don't know what dispatch number 1 is. I never saw number 1. I don't think there was actually a September issue. I never received it, which means I possibly signed up for it too late. I'm not sure. Either way, let's just get into it. Hello, miners. Hope you had a nice November and a nice Thanksgiving if you're over in the US. I am not. It's been a real busy month for us here, so there's much to discuss. On top of the usual work, we've had 2 big live streams this month, hosted a big old party, and we're gearing up for another party. There's been a lot of furniture rearranging as of late. We've had lots to share. We've had lots to share on the Horizon stream. I don't know if that's supposed to be like a pun. So that sort of sets the agenda for this newsletter. You can expect this one to have more videos than usual, and a few extra scoops of road core. Let's get after it. Thanks for reading, Aaron. And thank you, Aaron, for writing these. You do the Lord's work, and you're also a tough-looking motherfucker, if I could say so myself. Now, yeah, so this one is going to be a little bit of a recap of the On the Horizon stream, and which is something we ourselves have already done. If you want to check the most recent episode of the podcast, we very much so went over it in a very sort of a conceptual way, our thoughts on the stream, and much more so our thoughts on road core and the future that lies ahead for Ghost Ship. And as was sort of quite clear from the branding of that episode, a bright yet distant future is what we're looking at. Anyway, let's carry on. We've got the stream recap for highlights from the On the Horizon. Did you catch last week's On the Horizon live stream? I think we did. If yes, I love you. I love you too. If not, no hard feelings. I can only assume you were more busy with a pressing task like fighting wildfires, or raising a child, or playing Deep Rock Galactic. Life gets busy. For the convenience of the modern gamer, I wrote up a recap of the stream's most important highlights. Key headlines include the official Deep Rock Galactic merch webshop is finally here. Speaking of things that are live, the Road Core pre-alpha teaser trailer just dropped. Things are going swimmingly over Ghost Ship Publishing, and we're happy to announce a new title, Guntouchables by Danish developers GameSwing. For the full recap, just click here below. Now, I actually don't know if this is a fresh post. It's not. It this is actually a Steam post that sort of goes through that, which will be linked below as well. What will also be linked is the merch web shop, a page that I haven't actually checked out yet. It's also tied to Valheim and Satisfactory, but here we have the newly launched Deep Rock merch page. These are all currently pre-orders, but I think a lot of the stuff looks very cool. Quite expensive, but so it's why you hope of a high quality perhaps. But I think the stickers I can see myself getting potentially. Anyway, link for that will be in the description as well as the Guntouchables, Steam page, which is the newest game from Ghost Ship Publishing. It's sort of like a top-down roguelike co-op shooter. It looks pretty fun. I do think they're doing quite a lot of roguelikes, and I'm not sure how to feel about that. But either way, that's their business, literally. Let's carry on. Around the office. So Ghost Ship have just moved into a new office, or they have done over the past couple months. Obviously, it can be a long process, especially with how big it is, and that it does involve sort of a gradual expansion of the team as well. We're realising the electricians who installed the lights in the office put in a bunch of switches that just don't work, or have the opposite effect of what the switch suggests. I don't know what the opposite effect is aside from turning off the lights, which means it should be able to turn them back on, so I'm not sure what that means. This is confusing, but it also means that our enemies cannot easily control the lights as part of some sort of surprise attack. Yeah, we've been foiled again. We had a big old housewarming party earlier this month. It was a smashing success. We had about 400 guests in the office. That tells you how big it is. Who made their way through a half-ton of beer, 70 bottles of champagne, 300 cocktails, and a couple kilograms of popcorn. We all felt awesome the morning after. Tonight, we've got our Ghost Ship Christmas party. It's going to be a smaller affair, just the Ghost Ship Games team, and we'll have some glog, Scandinavian Christmas time spiced wine, eat dinner together, and hopefully convince Mike to let us do some dumb DRG April Fool's prank or something. If that means doing actual April Fool's something in-game on the 1st of April next year, would love that. It's about time it happens. Come on, Mike, let it happen. At the same time, go ahead and buff Chain Hit. It's got nothing to do with anything. Merch alert, the Deep Rock Galactic webshop is now open. Ooh, baby, we've got a merch now. At long last, the DRG merch webshop is here. A big thanks and a huge shout out to Dave at Heroic Replicas, who is the brains behind this project and made the whole thing happen. We've got loads of cool stuff up for pre-order now. Plus, me and Alex got to launch the shop live on stream, and it turned out really silly. Now, are all these links, what are these? Is this, okay. Nope, we're not doing that. That's a full video that we're not going to watch, and I believe this will also just be a link to the shop as well. Okay, yeah, there will be a link to the shop in the description of this. However, there's also more merch. Merch alert 2, Electric Boogaloo. Abyss Bar mugs are coming soon. Hold on, I'm just going to check to make sure I've got audio in this. Okay, so this one we actually are going to watch together. This is for the Abyss Bar mugs Kickstarter.
Lloyd, around the beer, please.
Oh god, forgot about that part. So yeah, there you go. That's the Abyss Bar mugs Scorched Steel Kickstarter, and yes, it is Kickstarter. What we know about this is that it's not going to like launch probably even next year, and they're probably going to be quite expensive. But hopefully they'll be worth it. They look very cool. I would love to own one. Not sure which one. Definitely one of these two though, either Pots of Gold or, I mean, I don't know what beer this is for actually explicitly. Anyway. There'll be a link to the Kickstarter as well in the description, so feel free to check that out. Yeah. We've partnered up with Scorched Steel Industry to release a run of official Abyss Bar beer mugs. The project is launching soon via Kickstarter. Click here to be notified when the campaign goes live. And there you go. So you can check that out as well. Here we also have the Rogue Core pre-alpha teaser trailer. This one I'm also not going to play in full, but we might want to take a quick look. Yeah, so you've probably seen this before. They do mention Ellis, however. So I'm going to try and quickly find some footage of Ellis. I believe this will suffice. There he is. Our little drone friend. There must be more Ellis. There he is. Only because Ellis is going to be talked about in just a moment. So yeah, feel free to check out the pre-alpha teaser trailer. I might as well include a link to that in the description as well. It's going to be full of lovely links. And trust me, we're not sponsored. As much as we would like to be, we're not sponsored by Ghost Ship Games. In fact, I would say we're endorsing them. Unofficially, of course, but we appreciate what they do and we enjoy what they do. So that's going to carry on. Fun fact, Ellis used to be called Ripley. Did you see that flying drone in the Rogue Core teaser? Yes, we did. That's Ellis, your new mechanical friend. Ellis is an REPD, a remote expedite processing drone. In the very first iterations of the game, we were calling the drone Ripley after Lieutenant Ripley from the Alien franchise. Really? I was thinking of Ripley from Ripley's Believe It or Not. But then we got shy about that because we felt like it was a bit too obvious of a pop culture reference, so Ripley became Ellis. Nobody else can remember if Ellis is a reference to anything, but I'll let you know if I find out. And you're right, it is a bit on the nose. And I like Ellis because Ellis is such a normal dude name. It's brilliant. I actually think it's really endearing. The only thing that doesn't make sense is that it has no bearing on the acronym whatsoever. Unlike a lot of the others, like Molly, of course, is the biggest one. Betsy is quite literal and things like that. So Omen is like, oh man, I don't know. Updates from Rogue Core development. A lot of this month's focus was on getting things ready for the On Horizon, making a build that was stable enough for recording the trailer, and also preparing for the segment of the stream where Jacek went into Unreal Engine and did a live demo of the new enemies. Right now, our next big task is dialing in the cave generation. In Rogue Core, you're fighting through abandoned mining facilities, so we've got to figure out how to procedurally generate a natural cave, but also give it the set dressing of mining equipment in a way that looks convincing and logical. That's tricky, which is easily one of my favourite things about Rogue Core so far is this addition of sort of DOG manufactured structures, like prefab structures, procedurally generated in the caves alongside the normal procedurally generated cave systems themselves. So like bridges and even sort of entire like buildings and houses and like processing facilities and things like that, procedurally and randomly generated to fit naturally within sort of the environments. How do you make sure all the equipment isn't just randomly clipping into the walls? How do you program enemies so they know how to chase you through and around these objects in a way that doesn't break immersion? How much do we need to tweak the cave generation engine now that we're no longer dealing with organic shapes? It's a lot to consider. Glad I'm not a programmer. Unfortunately, Aaron, I am a programmer, but I would have no idea how to do this stuff either. We spent over an hour talking about Rogue Core during the On the Horizon, and I published a recap of all that information over on the Rogue Core Steam page. It covers stuff like a first look at the base army of enemies, demonstrated live in Unreal Engine, checking out the kick-ass energy blade of the Splicer class. I believed it was Slicer, but this could also just be a correction. It could also be a mistake. We all want mistakes. Confirmation that the Ramrod spaceship will feature toilets, thank God. If you're hungry for more details, you can dive in down below. I believe this will be a link to the Rogue Core Steam page that has for that specific post, so there will also be a link to that in the description. Okay, on the final stretch, guys. Take a tour of Ghost Ship Games' sweet new office. We finally did the office tour. Click play to join me on a 6-minute odyssey through the new Ghost Ship Games HQ. If this video gets 100,000 views, we'll do a VR ASMR version. That sounds horrifying. But yes, this is a tour that's not a tour of the new Ghost Ship Games office. Another thing that I'm just going to simply link in the description below. So you can check that out if you want. Fan art of the month. This lovely illustration of an engineer looking all sorts of fucked up by Oily Peanut 1222. Yeah, that's nice. Anyway, one of the important things that will be a staple of Ghost Ship Dispatches from now on is the stream schedule. This is something I've already covered. I covered the stream schedule for November, which was posted, I believe it was included in the previous dispatch, but it was also posted by itself. Naturally, given that these are included in here, you're not going to be seeing individual videos on the stream schedules. They're a bit too floaty and not inherently important, if you know what I mean. Like, It's just the stream schedule. Whether or not what's actually in the stream schedule is actually like important on a sort of a news basis is up in the air. It's not defined. So you're not going to be seeing individual videos, but they will be covered as part of the Ghost Ship Dispatch. Although I will open this in a new tab so we can take a closer look. Although it kind of cuts it off a little bit with my sort of a screen capture. Anyway, so this is the December 2024 stream schedule. I think I'm actually almost accidentally saying scream schedule. I think that's what my brain wants to say. Anyway, starting on Tuesday the 3rd of December, Rogue Core office hours. We'll drag in Mike or Mickle and put him in the Rogue Core hot seat to answer all your questions. Otherwise, just hanging out playing DRG and goofing around as usual. Sounds good. Hopefully you can. Those guys are important guys at Ghost Ship, and getting their word on anything is always valuable. 1st to 5th December, chilling with the community. Stream team gears up to play Deep Rock Galactic with an extra open spot for someone to join. Yep, typical normal dev stream stuff. The following week, Tuesday 10th December, dev played out with Off-World, joining forces with Off-World developers of Starship Troopers Extermination for a developer playdate. Good for them. Quite similar games, I imagine. This stream specifically starts at 7 p.m. Central Eastern Time. Thursday 12th December, DLG regular style gaming. Nothing special there. Thursday 17th of December, in the following week, Ghost Ship Games Christmas party in Lockdown Protocol. We'll bring in as many people as we can fit in a Lockdown Protocol lobby to learn the hard way the true value of teamwork, hopefully featuring special guests and cozy friends. I don't know what that is specifically, if that's actually a Deep Rock like gameplay stream. I'm not sure what exactly is meant by this. But who knows, it could be something interesting, it could just be something comforting. Much like the Jingle Jam, which starts today, the Yogscast Jingle Jam. Once again, not sponsored, but I literally, yesterday I had a moment where I remembered that the Jingle Jam is happening, and it's like literally the only Yogscast thing that I watch. It's just a genuine source of comfort for me. Anyway, Thursday 19th of December, DRG Yuletide 2024 celebrations. Basically just a standard Deep Rock stream, but of course set to the backdrop of the Yuletide event. Hopefully they'll have pulled something kind of neat out for that. Who knows? Maybe a candy cane pickaxe. That's not like a sneaky like leak or anything. I actually have no idea. And then week 52 is when they are off for the holidays. No streams after December 19th, and they'll be back in January 2025. So yeah, there you go. That is the stream schedule for December 2024. And yeah, I mean, I'm with Aaron on this one. Phew, that was a hefty one. Hope you saw something in here you liked. I think it's pretty fun to put these together. Anything you want to see from the next one, let me know. Take care out there, and remember to look both ways before you cross the street. Much warmth and love from all of us at Ghost Ship Games. Catch you next month. Ghost Ship Games, Aaron. And just quickly, first of all, great stuff. I really love all the little bits about Rogue Core, sort of knowing that they're focusing on cave generation next. Hopefully we'll see something about that even more in the future. Potentially even more like screenshots and stuff of the prefab buildings. The one thing that I would love to hear about or see is any word on sort of the current sort of state of Deep Rock Galactic like patches. Obviously updates are a no-go genuinely until Season 6, which will be post Rogue Core's early access release. However, I do not think that patches are completely out of the way. I think that pressing issues will be addressed when needed, but I do want to know if there's any attention being paid to the concept of weapon balancing, in the sense of we kind of got a fairly random, almost rework to Nero Lasso in a recent patch, which as far as we know had no specific reason to happen, other than that the patch seemed to fall alongside the Oktoberfest event, or maybe, yeah, the Oktoberfest event. And that tells me there is still a capacity for certain small changes to be made here and there. So I would love to know if there's any consideration being made on that front. And I also would like to say I am more than willing to give input on what I think should be tweaked, basically, from a weapon balancing perspective. I've got a lot of thoughts, and I still think there's a lot of room to grow as far as Deep Rock's weapon balancing goes. So it's something I would love to hear about just at all. Like I said, I know there will be no proper updates to Deep Rock, but clearly patches can still happen. So I would love to hear something about that. It's quite greedy. I'm still in very much so Deep Rock brain mode until Rogue Core actually comes out. But so forgive me, but that's just my 2 cents. Anyway, now we get to move on to the fun part. So you just have to give me a moment to prepare. But basically, I need to read out this email in Aaron's voice. Just give me a moment. Alright, bear with me, guys. It's going to be rough. All right, Aaron, you asked for this, remember? Hello, Mr. Barrow. Aaron from Guntouchables Games here. Just got your email about using the newsletters in your videos. Thanks for your kind words about the newsletter. I'm glad you're enjoying it. You may use them in your videos, provided you agree to 2 conditions. Number 1, you include a link to where folks can subscribe to the newsletter. 2, you include a screenshot of this email in one of your videos, and you read the whole thing in your most convincing impression of my voice. Keep up the good work, and rock and stone. All the best from Guntouchables Games. Aaron Hathaway, Marketing Manager, Guntouchables Games. Okay, sorry about that, everyone. But look, it's Aaron's fault. He asked me to do this, so yeah, blame him. Anyway, that's all for this video. Lucky me, I've got to record 2 videos today. One of them being a overclock showcase for the one and only, but also not the one and only because there's actually more than one example of this overclock. But Bulldog's chain hit. I'm not looking forward to it. I don't like that overclock, but that's the job I've set for myself. So as always, if you enjoyed this, please make sure to like and subscribe. And if you want to see more videos like this, and you want to stay on top of everything to do Deep Rock and Roadcore, then make sure to click that bell as well. That's all I've got for now. And I'll see you on Tuesday, I suppose. Bye-bye.